Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whenever you are watching this video. This is my church presentation in base of my church paper. I will testify my experience about the two different worships that I decided to go. The first one was a church down in Boston. That it's an evangelical church, an evangelical denomination, and the other one was in North Quincy, and it was a Presbyterian church. I decided these two because I was raised in my family as Catholic, so pretty much I have been going to church once a week every day from all my 20 years old. So I wanted to just change it a little bit. I know the evangelical is not as different as mine, but the Presbyterian was a little bit more different, and I want to share um, all these new experiences that I have in this video. The first church I will talk about is the evangelical one that is called Hillsong Boston. It is basically, of what I noticed, it is distinguished by uh, personal experiences. So when I first entered, well, first of all, a fun fact about this church is that on the previous day, it's a club where there are like a big party. So when it's the party, it's done like around 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. Hours later, um, community of the church go into the building and starts just cleaning, sweeping, mopping in order for have the service on the very next morning. The service was at 11, but I'm pretty sure they have another one at 1. I don't really know. So this kept my attention because I was very strange. Well, it was not strange, the word I'm looking for. It was very amazing how the community was united in order to have a clean and good space to worship God. So pretty much what happened was I started and it was like this big stage. It was almost like I was in a concert. It was a stage with a lot of seats. There was also like a top uh, floor where you can also sit, but I stood in the very center because I wanted to be in the middle of the environment. It all started with different worship songs, more calm, and then with a little bit of more rhythm. It was probably around 10-15 minutes with worship songs, uh, with some instruments like guitars, drums, keyboards, piano, etc. In all the lyrics, they refer into they refer to a God, to our God, in how He is so giving and how we have to be thankful for Him. So it was pretty much a big thing in the worship, these worship songs. And after that, we have like a reflection moment on it, and then they started like presenting different people of the church, mostly Australian. I don't know why, but Australian people. Um, After that, they started reading a passage from the Bible and started reflecting on that. And then uh, I, if I remember correctly, it was one. Sorry for the interruption. So, as I was saying, they started reading the a passage from the Bible, and they started reflecting on it. It was kind of like a sermon made by the speaker of the church of that day. It was this long sermon, um, and pretty much it was reflecting on it, and I was just vibing with what he was saying, that it was true. And at the end, it was just a closure statement because I think they run out of time, and they were just saying thanks for the people who stopped by, thanks for the new people that came into the church, and started making like a lot of comments for future events. But overall, just my experience in this church is that it's a church that takes upon personal experiences. They use a lot of music and a lot of personal experiences, and it was not as different as what I used to. be doing in a Catholic church at all. Like it's similar, but I really enjoyed going into this new experience. Now, talking about the second worship, I was a little bit late because I couldn't find the sanctuary, so because I messed up with the address. Um, but I'm gonna just tell how the events happened, and it all started with a call of worshiping. They very first read a scripture about a passage, and pretty much the topic, just like uh, set the tone of what the worship was going to be about all throughout all the hour and 15 minutes I was there. And then right after that, a lot of music started going on, singing, claps, even people were like dancing or just like moving their hands. Um, Comparing the music between the two of them, I enjoyed more the first worship rather than the second worship. But the music was just a series of lyrics, just praying about God, redemption, confession, and pretty much being thankful for Jesus Christ. Similar to the first worship, after a moment of self reflecting after the singing, there was another reading of a scripture. There was a various of reading of the scriptures. I did some reading of why it was like this, because in total there were three different readings. Why was that? And I noticed over the internet that Presbyterian Church place a high value on the reading of scriptures. So it's a very strong uh, base of the church. After that, uh, the sermon began with the preacher of the church. It's basically the central point of the entire worship, and it was pretty good. I like it a lot, all the words he said, and pretty much it was just to apply the things that the scripture or the reading said in our everyday life. And also, I was blessed to have the opportunity to live two different sacraments. It was the baptism of a family with kids, and it was I also was part of the sacrament of the Lord's Supper. So it was pretty interesting just comparing on how in Catholic Church we made it and how they do it is very similar, but it was just I didn't expect that. I didn't know that they were gonna do it on that day. Um, they are, but just to make a reflection on both of them, they're a little bit different of what I am used to. But it was certainly a very big opportunity of me just to be more diverse, in my religion um, thinking. So I just think like this type of work makes you realize that there's a lot of new thinking around the world, and you just have to be good and accept everyone's opinion on who they uh, thank or they worship. Um, just to give like a quick conclusion of my experience going into two different worships. They both place an equal emphasis on the Bible and the trust in Jesus Christ. There are different variations between these two, but that doesn't seem like a big difference. I personally liked more the first worship rather than the second one. And much I just think that we need to be respectful and just be kind into other denominations. Also, I think it's good to give us the time to just take a look into the different worships, and everyone basically is free to practice whatever they believe in, because at the end, faith is just what keeps us humans going forward into the right path. So I just think that you need to be respectful for everyone in order to be our better versions of ourselves. And that's it. This is my reflection on my two worship services.